Hello everyone! If you're new and you never saw me before, my name is Anna Stashkina and I'm the owner of Stashkina Cakes in Chicago, Illinois. Today we are going to make this Japanese anemone, and if you know, regular anemone is white and black, like the typical one you see, and Japanese, sometimes they call Chinese. The difference is the flowers are come in different colors. Like today we are going to make light pink variation, but you can make them in yellow and even darker colors like dark purple, and it would be nice on your floral arrangement. So first thing you need to do is you need to cut your template and prepare 3 petals in each size. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a small cut and roughly see what is the size of my petal. And as you can see, if you have nice sharp scissors, cutting wafer paper shouldn't be a problem. And I'm going to cut through my 3 layers of wafer paper and my template. And this is going to be my smallest petal on the flower. Okay, so I have my 9 petals. And nice thing about this type of flowers like anemone or poppies, they have different size, different amount of petals. So you can make some of them have like 4 petals, some of them more, so it's not a big deal. I do 9, I will make 9 and I hope they will work, but we will see. So next step, we are going to wire these wafer paper pieces. And to do that, I'm going to use my wafer paper glue, this consistency like gel-like liquid, and wafer paper glue made out of wafer paper, and I add water. I use here, this is distilled water because that's what I prefer, and I mix it in this glass jar and I let it to sit overnight, and I call it wafer glue because that's what it is. It made to use to glue 2 pieces of wafer paper together. So next step, what we're going to do is I have my glue, wafer paper and water. I have my brush and I'm going to use 30 gauge wire. This is cloth covered white wire, and I'm going to use this wire. For wafer paper, nice thing compared to gum paste that you can use much thinner wire and be totally fine with that, because wafer paper is much lighter, so you do not need to have that much weight to hold onto your wafer paper. To do so, if you work with gum paste, you know that when you put your wire in your gum paste, you're trying to feed your wire in between 2 layers of gum paste. So we are going to do the same with our wafer paper. We are going to place our wire in between 2 pieces of wafer paper. To do this, I'm going to prepare my wafer paper petals and 3 pieces of my wire. I'm starting with the small one because they're going to be in the middle part of our flower, so it's going to be our first layer, and I need them to dry first. And I'm going to cut small pieces of wafer paper to use as a second layer to sandwich my wire in between, and you'll see what I mean in a second. So this is just a cut out piece of wafer paper. I'm going to put some glue on my table, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my piece of wafer paper, put a little bit of glue, place my wire, and put it on the back side of my petal. Back side is the smooth side, because I'm going to use this bumpy side as my front, and my shiny smooth side is going to be my back. So you can see I sandwiched two pieces of wafer paper, I sandwiched my wire in between two pieces of wafer paper. And I'm going to do the same for my all other pieces. Just a touch of glue, just a little bit. 30 gauge wire. And apply it to the back. And I need to do this to all my 9 petals. Okay, so I have my petals. I'm checking if those are dry, and I do not think so, because when I touch, it's still a little bit sticky. So I let it dry for another second, and I'm going to work on my center. So this is a 22 gauge wire. I'm making a regular hook as you make a hook for your gum paste flowers, and I'm going to use a small piece of green gum paste. And I need to make a ball about 1 centimeter in diameter. 1 centimeter, half an inch, I guess a little bit less than half an inch. So to do my center, what I prefer, you can use gum glue, and you can wire your center the way you do with the gum paste. This is gum paste, this is 22 gauge wire. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set it on fire just for a second to warm it up, because I find that this way is faster and easier for me. So what I did is I heated up my wire and placed it inside my gum paste ball. Now my gum paste ball is stuck to the wire and it's not coming off, and now it is ready to be used. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add this pollen to my gum paste center. And what I have here, this is my pollen, and what I have here is a cornflower. At least here in the States it's called cornflower. Is Semolina type coarse meal, like cornmeal. And I added a little bit of petal dust. This is daffodil, I guess, and this is sunflower dust. This is just petal dust, so I added just a little bit and mixed it in, and now I have this pollen mixture that is bright and yellow. And I'm going to use confectioner's glaze because, again, I do not like to wait for my flowers to dry. That's why I use confectioner's glaze. And confection glaze sets much faster compared to gum glue. So I'm using my bowl to add my pollen. I cover my gum paste center in confectioner's glaze until it becomes shiny and sticky, and place it in my pollen. So now I have my center, and it's going to be dry and ready to use in maybe 2 minutes, and I don't need to wait overnight to make these fluffy things. So I'm getting ready to color my petals and to vein my petals. What I have here is a floral pad, my 9 petals. Next thing I'm going to use is cornflower cornstarch, fluffy brush. This is I guess it's a blush brush, but what I prefer to use for my wafer paper. Next I'm going to use this flat angle brush, and this veneer. This is the silicone puppy veneer, not puppy, peony. To mix wafer paper conditioner, I use food grade glycerin. 1, 2, 3. So 3 drops of food grade glycerin and water, like that. So maybe a tablespoon. And I'm going to add just a touch of this pink gel color. So now my wafer paper conditioner has some color. And that's it. That's the recipe for my conditioner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to color my petal, but be very cautious about that. So as you can see, I'm trying to leave as little moisture on my brush as possible. And I'm even checking on my mud, and I see that my brush is barely wet. So it's not soaking wet, it's just barely wet. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to lightly brush my petal until it becomes moist, but not wet and not melting. Next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use just a touch of cornstarch on my brush and apply it to my wafer paper to stop it from melting and to make sure that it's not going to stick to my veneer. I'm placing it in a veneer, press it down and count till 5. And now I have my petal. So that's why I use wafer paper conditioner, because you can see the difference between these two petals. I'm going to use this spoon former to prop my petal, same as you do with your gum paste petals if you work with gum paste, like that. So again, I'm dipping my brush into my wafer paper conditioner. I'm brushing my petal very lightly, like gentle. I'm applying cornstarch on the brush because it prevents wafer paper from sticking and stops it from melting. And I place it in my veneer and count till 5. And when you're removing your petal from your veneer, be very gentle, because wafer paper is much lighter compared to gum paste, and you can damage it much easier. And I have 2 more to go. And for formers to dry wafer paper, I prefer to use plastic spoons or even metal spoons, but not cardboard. You know that those apple, like fruit crates. I don't like to use any paper to dry as a former for wafer paper, because it sucks moisture and sometimes it might stick to those formers. That's why I use this spoon former that I have, or I use for larger petals, I use this egg mold. This is just plastic egg mold, but it works wonders as my flower former for larger petals. So as you can see, I'm almost done with my petals. This is the last one, and I used maybe a few drops of this wafer paper conditioner. So if you're working with wafer paper a lot, or you want to work with wafer paper a lot, you can premix your glycerin and water mixture in a bottle and have it at your disposal. Like I have here, this is my Wafer Paper conditioner already pre-mixed. I just put it in a bowl, add gel color to the color and consistency I need, and I'm set to go. Yeah, so this is my last petal, and I need to leave it to dry for maybe a few minutes. So next step, I'm going to use a few stamens. These are pre-made stamens by Wilton. I will use 7. I will cut them in half. And I'm not trying to be specific or like cut them exactly in half, because I want those layers to be interesting and add some visual interest to my center. So I have my stamens. I'm using a piece of floral tape, fixing it, and stretching and pulling. What I have here is just a bunch of stamens, and I'm going to feed my center, my wire. This is one of the reasons why I use 22 gauge wire for all my stamens, because I like to have stronger wire. I think it works better and it's easier to manage. And I'm going to pull my tape down for the stamens to hold together to my center. See, so what I have here is a pre-made stamens cut in half and taped to my wire and my center. And we did the center together a few minutes ago, and it's not coming off because I used a flame to set it on fire and stick it in. And because I used a confectioner's glaze to apply my pollen to gumpaste center, it's not coming off either. And this is the fastest way I found to make centers. So now I have my center, and I'm going to check on my petals, and those are dry. You can see I have all the textures on my petals. 3 smaller petals is going to go first. 3 middle one are going to be the next level, next row of petals, and larger one are going to be on the outside. So I'm going to use my half width floral tape, and I'm going to hold my petal and fold my wire 90 degrees downward. And I'm going to do this to all my petals. So I have my center, I have my half width floral tape, and I'm applying my first layer of petals. And because I have 3 petals in each row, I'm trying to go in a triangular shape, but not a perfect triangle, because nothing in nature is perfect. So something like this. Few more layers of floral tape. My second row will go on the left side of my first layer. So this is my first petal, this is my second petal, like the small one and medium one. Again on the left side, and the last one on the left side as well. And if it moves, that's fine. I can adjust it after I apply more floral tape. For So again, floral tape. I have my 2 row, and my 3rd row and larger petals will go on the left from my 2nd. So this is small, medium, large. Next petal, small, medium. I need to place large petal right here. Large. And my last one, small, medium, large. And now you have it. I'm going to assemble this a little bit the way I like it to be. Calyx part, you do the same. You cut it, you're color it, but you use green gel color, and you just apply 3 pieces and the same somewhere on the bottom to cover your flower. Or you can leave it like that. So that's what you can make using wafer paper and basic tools and materials. You probably, if you do flowers or work with cakes, you have it on hand anyway. Stay healthy, stay happy, and remember, if you have time, you can practice a new skill, and we all in this together. Thank you so much. Hope you're having a wonderful day.